Hey folks, I've actually been getting in a lot of knives lately, and I just haven't been making these videos showing them coming out of the box. You know, the package comes in, I'm usually too excited to make a video. I just kind of tear into it and check it out right away. So you'll see some of these knives that I've been buying over the next few weeks in some new videos. But today I did think of it. This one just came in the mail. It is Saturday as of the recording of this video, and I thought I would cut this one open and show you, which is something I often forget to do. Actually, there's a pull tab. I'm going to use the pull tab because this is one of those awful made out of recycled paper packages, and I'd rather that stuff not go everywhere. So, let's have a look-see here. Nothing in the packaging, you can see right there, and obviously from the video title you can see that this is a Spyderco native. I think this is the number 3. And this is used. Bought this from an individual online. I don't believe I've ever owned a native before. So this, I think, is my first one. Got a little bit of crud on it. Let's take a look at the blade. It's actually in really good shape. That looks like it's still the factory edge. And one of the things I'm kind of particular about, which is that little pointy tip there. I'm kind of picky. It doesn't have to be super pointy, and it doesn't have to have the factory edge. But I don't really care for when people advertise a knife a certain way and then you get it and it's not really to your expectations. So this guy said that this blade had been used a little bit, and I'm really happy with it. I think that edge looks just fine. It looks like I might have to touch it up a little bit. I'm just guessing. It might be really sharp. In fact, let's cut through this little advertisement that he wrapped it in. Oh, that's totally serviceable. Might use a little bit of a stropping, but that's still very sharp. Good lockup. I don't feel any wiggle in either direction. This is a pinned or riveted construction, as you can see there, so this knife cannot be opened and adjusted by the end user. And this has that older style single screw clip that Spyderco uses, and they still do use this style clip to this day. There's a little boy dent in the lock back or back lock, whichever is your preference. And nice little choil towards the front. The choil right here on the native, and now that I have it in my hands, I'm pretty confident that I haven't owned one of these before, because that choil is pretty small, and it's not that it's uncomfortable. I can still fit my finger in there just fine, but it's quite small compared to some of the larger ones that we might see on like the Mannix or the Paramilitary 2. One's pretty narrow, but still feels pretty good. I like that even though there's jimping on the back, which I don't normally care for, I like that there isn't the usual Spyderco hump on the native. So it's just one smooth spine. Pretty cool design. Again, it's I'm almost certain, I've owned a lot of knives over the years, if you can't tell. I'm still sitting here trying to guess whether or not I've actually owned this knife before. I don't think that I have. And part of my reasoning for that is because this knife is smaller than I thought it was going to be. And yes, I've looked at the specs a million times. The Spyderco Native is a very common knife. I've seen it a million times in all sorts of videos and photos and read all sorts of reviews. But it's just one of those things that until you hold a knife in your hand, you never quite know, how you're going to get along with it or how it's actually going to end up feeling. And it's pretty small. That jimping at the back is really aggressive. If you like knives that just kind of lock your thumb in place up there, it's almost uncomfortable because it is so jagged. You can see it's really squared. It's not terrible, but it's a lot more aggressive than I like. But I'm pleased to finally own this and try it. And I think that at the price that I got this, and picking one up used was the perfect way to try out a model that, as far as I know, I've never used before. Flicks out nice and fast, which is kind of fun. A little bit harder for me to do with my other digits, but with my thumb it works pretty easily. And good size, not too thick. I don't really have any other knives next to me except for this Chokwe here. There's the two of them side by side. Take a look at the thickness next to one another. I know this Chokwe isn't a very common knife, so this probably isn't that great of a comparison. But this isn't a review. I just got in a little surprise on a Saturday. Thought I'd open that up on camera, upload a real short video, and show you folks. So there it is. I think this is the Native 3, and this is CPM S30V, as you can see there. Cool little knife. I'll carry this around. This will get brought into rotation, and I'm glad to have picked it up. I got it for a pretty sweet deal, and the guy was really cool about it, and yeah, not a bad little design. So there you go, Spyderco Native. And if this gets carried often enough, I'll come back at you all with a review really soon. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. In my haste to record this video, I just realized that this is actually set for left-handed tip-up carry. See, that blade would be against the seam, the outside seam of your left-hand pocket, and of course I am right-handed, so I'm going to need to flip this around. And the nice part about these old-fashioned clips from Spyderco is that you can just use a penny or another similarly sized coin or tool to open this little bit up on here. Makes for a fast and easy clip swap. Pull that up out of there. Take out the little barrel on the other side. That goes back into place. Screw that back in a little bit, just a little bit of finger tension to get it started. Hearing that I got a message on my tablet. And then I'm holding my finger on the opposite screw, the other side of the clip. Tighten that down with my penny, and now we are set for right-handed tip-up carry. Pretty cool.